And we're live. Welcome to episode 78 of the Chainmail of the MailleWerX Chainmail live streams. Wish I knew how to say that. I want to do a voiceover intro to the show. That would be fun. All right, let's we got something to do here. Oh, excuse me. Oh, We'll just copy link again. Alright, I'm doing the share right now. Paste, blah, blah, blah. Time to get some work done. Alright. There we go. Sometimes these videos pop up of when I share the stream, my face will pop up and it'll be like what I'm saying 5 seconds ago and my idiot face doing something, you know. Last couple of shows, if you missed the opening minute, it's amusing. Sorry if I'm making nauseous by moving this camera around. All right. Oh man, okay. Let's put Frank where he belongs. Let's get a little more work done on this Raiders flag here. That's all we're doing. I've got some stuff that I have to get to. Right? That requires me to do other projects than this Raiders flag. Prior to this Raiders flag being finished, right? Like, I have a job that I gotta get done. I haven't had a chance to do it because I have not had a chance to sit down and figure out what I'm gonna do for a project with these particular items, these particular rings, if you will. And I have been meaning to, and I'll get there. I just gotta sit down and figure it out. You know? Anyway, all right. Let's get our picture up. Man, this random crap. I'm wondering if there's another. Let's hope the next song is better. I have Streamlabs for my streaming platform, and I use Pretzel Rock as for the music, right? But I got a strike, not a strike. I got a warning on Facebook. My music stuff's too loud. I feel like I have to talk too loud. I got a warning on Facebook that I was using someone else's music, even though everything on the Pretzel Rock app is supposed to be guaranteed that you're not going to get your video taken down or removed from a Facebook or YouTube or whatever for a copyright violation, right? So I'm kind of irritated about that, but I'm kind of irritated about this music selection because, like, the one rock channel there was just playing the same songs over and over and over again, you know? What's up, David? First person comment coming from Twitch. What's up, man? How have you been? Haven't talked to you since New Year's? I think it was New Year's. You're getting ready to make a big firework or something. Life's going good. It's going good. Can't complain. Let's turn Frank on for a minute. Come on. Whoa, oh, whoa. Okay. I see what was happening. There we go. That's better. Yeah, from New Year's. How'd your firework turn out? Did you get it done? You didn't hurt yourself, did you? That would be like, I hate to ask about it, and you know, you lost a limb or something. What's up, Josh? How you doing, buddy? Why is everybody's names pink today? That's new. All right. First ring of the night. We're gonna. I think we need to bring this down a little bit more. Your life's not too good and fireworks didn't go how it was planned because you didn't ended up making it on time? Oh, that sucks. Sorry, life's not too good also, man. That sucks to hear too. Twitch and Facebook going tonight. It's a party up in here. Man. Today was... It was one of those lazy days where I felt like, yeah, I should go do something. You're doing okay for not having slept last night? That's no good, buddy. Sleep is important. But I ended up sitting around just like wasting a lot of time today. I could have done more. I should have done more. Life's not going to good because your sister said after packing in her school 15,000. Life is not too good because your sister stayed after. I'm assuming that's some school debt you're talking about there. That she left you with? That sucks. Let's say I think that's what you're getting at. Your mom doesn't know what to do? Yeah. Your sister quit school? You were trying to sleep, then your kid woke up? Sorry, Claire. The dog whined all night and kept me up. He's beside himself because your female's in heat and wants nothing to do with him. Ah, yeah. Damn dogs. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I get to go to one of my patients' house, and they have a new German short hair puppy, and it's just it's the cutest little thing. I don't see it every time, but you know, I've seen it a few times. It's adorable. It almost makes me want another dog, right? You know how like you get around a baby and you're like, yeah, I like babies. Maybe I want another baby. Right? Or you get around puppies, you get around kittens, you know. I don't want kittens. I'm allergic to cats, but every time I go and hang out with this little puppy, I'm like, yeah, you know, that's just what I need in my life, is another puppy. And the dog and your kid keep each other company? For real, right? Nope. Moving to black. Your sister's at home right now, and every time she's at home or just visiting, nothing's working out, huh? I'm sorry to hear that, man. School's hard. It's hard to get through. And like stopping in the middle of it, you know, when you don't have a degree and you got to pay back the loans. Yeah. I'm sure your mom's more than a little upset, man. I did sit down and get some work done. I think I'm like a few minutes away from being all caught up this week. So we had the snowstorm Tuesday that I couldn't leave my house because of how much snow had accumulated at the end of my driveway. And the rest of the week was spent catching up on seeing all my patients who, you know, yeah, they get home care, right? They're in their own homes, but they have to be seen by someone. So that really screwed up the rest of my week. But I am finally caught up, I think, as of today. I got the last little bit of my work done, and then hopefully starting Monday we'll start a fresh week, and then I think it snows again on Tuesday. So we'll see how it goes. Your dad planned to go into the mountains, and plan is not going further because something happened, but today she came home. Yeah. Family's rough, dude. All of it. Every aspect of it. It's like humans are like pack animals, but at the same time, dealing with humans sucks. Like, yeah, I want to be around everybody. Oh, you. You're all awful. Crap. If I was your dad, I'd go off into the mountains too. Wouldn't, might not come back. It's like, yeah, don't know about you and your school there, daughter, but I'm just gonna go on a hike. 6 months later, I've built a log cabin in the woods, living a peaceful, quiet life by myself. It's got to be really hard for the viewers to understand that I'm responding to people on different platforms. That is a drawback to streaming on multiple platforms. Because I realize that to the Facebook people, I sound like a crazy person. And then, you know, the Twitch people, they don't get enough attention. Excuse me. Interesting first world problem to have. I'm just glad to have people hanging out on more than one platform and hanging out at all. So, I didn't do anything interesting today. Pretty slow day. Sat around. It's kind of needed to recover from the week, you know. For you, it's normal. Streamers are talking with every platform. I don't watch enough streams, to be honest. I wish that I had time. There's some friends of mine who are also streamers that I wish I could go and support more often than I do. But even today, like, okay, I say I didn't get a lot done, but I was still like doing stuff. It was just mindless crap. And so before anyone says, "Oh well, Sean, you didn't do anything on Saturday. You could have gone and supported a streamer." Yeah, I probably could have and should have, but it did not present itself as an option while I was engaged in doing mindless crap. Like, for example, let's see here. I was paying off some stuff. I shouldn't say paying off. I should say, I was shifting money around in order to organize my finances so that I'm not paying so much out of pocket on every paycheck. Does that make sense? I spent part of the day doing that. Trying to get that all figured out. I wrote a letter to my congressman. Good guy. Sent me a letter back. I have a... what do you call it? There is what's called the Montgomery GI Bill that used to be the way you funded your college back in the day when I went into the military in 2002. You paid $1,200, $100 a month for 12 months, right? And you got a certain amount of your college paid for, like up to $36,000 or something like that. So of course I signed up for it. Like, that's why I joined the military, was so that I could go to school. Foolish me, little did I know that I didn't need to go to school to learn how to make money in the world. In fact, it would be the worst possible route you could take. So the GI Bill got canned and was moved to the post 9/11 GI Bill. The Montgomery GI Bill is no longer, and now it's the post 9/11 GI Bill, right? Well, all the money, oh, and you didn't have to pay into the post 9/11 GI Bill, right? So all the money that people had paid into the Montgomery GI Bill, who had never used their Montgomery GI Bill, was to be returned to them once they had finished using the post 9/11 GI Bill. So, like, you don't use a Montgomery GI Bill because you transfer it over to the post 9/11 GI Bill, right? But you still put in money to the Montgomery GI Bill, right? You use up your post 9/11 GI Bill, and at the end of that, you're supposed to get your $1,200 back. So I went to school for 4.5 years, all on the post 9/11 GI Bill. Hey Barb, how you doing? And at the end of the time period in which I went to school, I was supposed to get my Montgomery GI Bill money back, right? But I never did. So I was looking back through my VA records for a couple things, and I noticed that I had never been paid out that $1,200. You're meh? Yeah, today's kind of a meh day. So I noticed that I had never been paid this $1,200 after using up my college fund, and I write the VA. I'm like, yeah, you know, I paid into the Montgomery GI Bill. I was made to understand that I would be getting, you know, $1,200 back. I'm just curious, how do I go about making sure I collect on that, right? Not feeling well? I'm sorry to hear that, Barb. So I get a response that says that in order to collect the $1,200, I have to re-enroll in college for 5 days. 5 days. And sign up for basic allowance for housing in order to collect my $1,200. So essentially, that's a college application. That's, you know, all the irritating process of getting ready for school and all that crap. Not to mention, like, I already have a degree. So it's, I have zero intention of furthering my degree. So there's no purpose to me signing up for 5 days, right? So I wrote my congressman, and he sent me some paperwork back, and he is going to consult with the VA on my behalf, figure out what is going on. And hopefully he will help me. And hopefully I will have $1,200 soon. So, it's just, like, why? I went to school for 4 years. For the full 4.5 years. Over the amount of time that I was supposed to go. Why on earth do I have to go for 5 more days? You know, to meet this bogus requirement in order to collect on money that should have been paid to me years ago. Right? Anyway, it's the VA. I don't expect a whole lot from them. Right? Like, they're all, I don't want to generalize. A lot of people at the VA are very happy with just showing up to work and doing a mediocre job and going home. I'd say the bulk of them at the VA are like that. Like, you wonder why there are so many problems with the VA. It's because there are so many people who are just okay with showing up and collecting a paycheck. They don't want to do well in life. They have no aspirations, you know. And I have a primary source for this. Don't get me wrong. There's plenty of good people at the VA who do a very good job. There's a lot of medical professionals that do very well. You can get a lot of good care there, right? But as far as the bureaucracy side of the house, I'm not so sold on, because it's like, can't you help me figure out how to get around this 5-day regulations because of regulations? It's not just because of regulations. That's part of it. By the way, you have 3 things to buy, but at this moment you can only buy 1. That's not, I got like 100 things to buy, dude. I can't buy any of them. You want to 3D print a pellet gun? Nice. Are you gonna 3D print it yourself? That'd be fun. That'd be a fun project. Pretty more nice with night vision. I'm delving into dangerous territory? Why? I'll talk smack about the VA all day long. You know how many dead-eyed people work at the VA? You tell me about them every day. Oh. Alright, apparently I'm talking too much smack. Sorry. I'm just irritated because it's stupid, right? Like, there's not a workaround to not have to sign up for school. And so anyway, I called my congressman, and I got to deal with that. Hopefully I'll collect a paycheck. Oh yeah, okay. All right, that's fair. I didn't say anything. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying, David. It's a 3D printer, a pellet gun, or night vision. 3D. I would go with the 3D printer personally. I don't have a need for a pellet gun, so I would go with the 3D printer. I think it's you know, funny that Renee thinks I would get her in trouble. Like, we've got a few people on the stream, I guess. We could go viral, and my rant about the VA, you know, could cause problems. You want a pellet gun because you're into guns, but firearms are after 21 years old? I mean, pellet guns are good for plinking cans or, you know, squirrels or annoying birds. They're definitely fun, but I mean, you could do so much more with a 3D printer. You know? Because in order to 3D print something, you have to learn the software and how to design stuff. So, you know, you should start figuring out how to 3D print some chainmail. It's the next step in the chainmail evolution. I'm gonna wait a few more years before I get a 3D printer. I'm gonna wait a few more years before I get a laser etcher thingy. The technology is not up to where I want it to be. Right? First thing you do 3D print is, I think, is an IS3. I don't know. Is that the type of 3D printer you're considering? I don't know anything about them. I just know that they're cool and I want one. But as with a lot of things, they're not refined enough for me. I'm a very... the word is lazy. I'm very lazy. So I want to be able to... I want something that's plug and play and, you know, can just do what I want without explaining too much. I don't... They're getting there. But, oh, you want to 3D print a model tank? That's cool. It was better than an American tank. It was a Soviet tank. I don't know anything about the history of tanks, but tanks are all about, like, what environment they're built for. So a Soviet tank being better at being a tank than an American tank for 40 years. I mean, I believe it. Why don't you, you know, here's the thing, right? Like, with 3D printing, you can make whatever you want, right? You just have to know how to manipulate the software to get what you want. You could make anything. And it's one of those things where you can design filtration systems for water. You can design little windmills for creating power. You can... You know, don't get me wrong, like, models are cool. Just not how I would use it. The only model tank you would print SPME figures. SPME figure mechanisms. I don't know what that is. But, you know, as long as you have an object in mind that you want to create, by all means, don't let me stop you. Not what I would do, but... I remember growing up as a kid having, you know, several BB guns, a couple pellet guns, and I own several firearms myself. So, if you want to get into the basics of owning a firearm, you know, pellet gun's not a bad way to go. See here, I think my dad still has the pellet gun we had as a kid. I don't know where he got this thing from, but it only held like 20 BBs, and you had to oil the mechanism at the end of the barrel in order to get it to work. And it would always take several attempts to get it running. Like, you took this slide out of the front end of the barrel and you loaded BBs into it, and then you had to lubricate it with some like 3-in-1 oil. It was the weirdest thing, right? Like, all my friends had like a Red Ryder BB gun or whatever. And they could, you know, plink away at whatever they wanted, and here I am having to pump up this ancient style BB gun in order to shoot anything at all. And like the first couple attempts, like oil would just shoot out the front end of the barrel. No BB, just, you know, glob of oil. I guess you had to get the oil in the barrel to lubricate the BB to go fast enough to shoot out. Something like that, right? That's a really bad way for it to work. So, anyway, long time ago in a land far, far away, had a really weird BB gun. Alright. Somewhere in here is two areas, like teardrop shaped pieces that I'm just gonna have to go back in and kind of forcefully cut them out. We're not... Does that even go down? Well, that's about right. Here. Guns are fun and all, but for quiet weapons, bows, crossbows, swords, axes, and knives. I've had a lot of fun with some really loud guns, so. Alright. That's not nearly over far enough, though. Let's see here. Hang on, I need to make this come round more right in here, and then... No? Just kind of... Okay. Yeah, we're kind of going the right way. I don't know. You have two pellet guns, a Glock, and a rifle chambered in 4.5mm. Never hear you coming, and if you do, it's probably already too late. Right, but with the gun, you can touch someone at 100 yards away, 200 yards away, half a mile away. You know, the bullet will hit them before the sound ever hits them. So, yeah, 6 of one, half dozen of the other. There is the 21-foot rule, and for those of you who don't know what the 21-foot rule is, it's don't ever let anyone who is actively wielding a knife within 21 feet of you, right? Because it doesn't matter if you have a gun or not. whatever you do, if someone is within 21 feet of you, they will always be able to get to you with their knife before you have an opportunity to pull a gun out of a holster and shoot them, right? It's much faster for a human being to run the distance of 21 feet, right, 7 yards, than it is for you to draw a gun. And there's hundreds of videos on this. So, I mean, you know, they say don't bring a knife to a gunfight, but it's like, I don't know, how far away are we talking? Mathematically, human can run 21 feet faster than you can draw a gun. If you don't believe me, go to YouTube, look up, you know, knife-wielding lunatic stabs man with gun. I promise you there's going to be a bunch of videos on it. Guns a great distance, under 30 feet. Don't bring a gun to a knife fight. Yeah. It can get real messy. There's your bit of trivia knowledge right there. You can throw a knife and hit a target from 45 feet. That's funny. The guy on Twitch, David, said, like, you can throw a very accurate and strong knife for 20 meters. Yeah. You can throw a knife very quickly if you already, you know, have it drawn and are, you know, running around like a madman. Running up on someone with a gun. I don't recommend it, right? If you make the decision to wield a knife in a threatening manner, and someone with a gun tries to pull a gun, I would definitely just put the knife down, if I were you. Should you find yourself in that unlikely scenario. Don't throw the knife, don't attack people. Close quarters combat is totally different ball of wax, then you get no chance. Yeah, well, you know, I mean, I'd rather just not put myself in that scenario in the first place, right? Like, you know, I'm 300 yards away. They'll never see it coming. Now I'm lengthening out this chin strap, and I think we're on to something here. Kind of looks right, sort of. You can actually accurately throw an axe up to 50 meters. You'd say it depends on the scenario. But yeah, you know, choose the right weapon for the right occasion. 50 meters is 150 feet plus, right? So what's 50 times 9? 9 times 5 is 45, so another 45 inches, so that's 153 plus feet. I don't know if I could throw a baseball accurately 150 plus feet. A 50-meter throw is feasible. I'm gonna take your word for it. Right. I'm trying to picture like what 150 feet looks like. Each room of my house was probably 36 feet. 3 of my houses, so from my neighbors, from one side of my neighbor's house to the other side of my other neighbor's house, like 150 feet. And maybe a little more. So like from the living room of my one neighbor's house to the living room of my other neighbor's house, that's probably like 150 feet. You throw an axe that far? Interesting. So you guys throw long distances? I mean, I'm sure there are some people who could do it, right? Like, but average Joe like me, probably not. I don't think I could throw an axe. Well, I mean, depending upon the axe, I guess. Like, I'm thinking like a throwing axe, I guess, is what I'm thinking about. Yeah, a small axe. I get what you're saying. I just... Well, I mean, I know I'm not going to do it anytime soon, so... I can barely get my arm over my head anymore. At 15 meters, you're getting about 10 revolutions. Hard throw to make, but it can be done. Let me judge this curve here. Yeah, no, that's right. Okay, sorry, I thought I was screwing up for a second. Takes a lot. It's a normal axe, but not a throwing axe. Takes a lot of skill. Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm gonna start throwing axes at people. I guess I better start now. Start practicing now, anyway. Don't bring an axe to a gunfight or a knife fight if you haven't practiced. There's today's lesson. Here, I've got a throwing knife up here. Man, I've been sitting here weaving, looking at myself, and not realizing that the camera wasn't on. I'm an idiot. Like, narcissism supreme right here. So this is a Gilhibben throwing knife. Right? And I thought, when I was a kid growing up, okay. Let me tell you the story how I got this knife. So, Hibben knives, yeah, they're awesome. This was, I forget the name of the store. It was like Merlot's Cutlery or something. Merlin's Cutlery, maybe. I've got two knives from them, actually. On hand. Hang on. Yeah, okay. That's dusty. Alright, so I think it's Merlin's Cutlery, right? Had a bunch of like what do you call them? Fantasy knives, and they had like kitchen knives and stuff. Pocket knives and fold-out knives and fixed blades and right. And you know, being a young impressionable guy who watched the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles throughout the 80s, I wanted to be a ninja when I grow up. And they had this throwing knife there, right? And I wanted this thing for forever. Finally, one day, it was like, God, it was ridiculously expensive. They had it listed for like $80, right? Not that it's not worth $80, but you know, you can get a knife like this for far cheaper. It's just, it's associated with Gilhibben. And so, therefore, because it's associated with someone's name, it gives a markup to the price, right? One functional, one wall hanger. I mean, I wouldn't want to be stabbed by this. This is by United, right? This isn't, like, it's not resin, okay? It's cast metal of some kind. So, Like, I don't think I'm gonna punch into something with this, right? And I don't know why. I saw the cow skull and I was like, yeah, that's so cool, man. It's awesome. So you can get a 3 set of these for about 50 bucks. Yeah. I think I paid like 80 for mine because I was dumb and young and didn't know any better. No. The horn hooks would go right into your hand, dude. For real. Right? Like, right there. Just, stab you right in the hand. It's like, you know, some dumb shit I bought when I was 15, 16, something like that. Not that we advocate for stabbing people here, but, you know, if the occasion arises, don't happen to use the cow skull push dagger. That's all we're saying. Yeah. I have a bunch of... Listen, hang on a second. Oh. I have a Nintendo Wii Legend of Zelda lunchbox. Alright, and I think the bulk of my knives are in here. Do I have anything cool? I have another throwing knife. That's a sharpening stone. This is actually really cool. I'll tell you a story about this in a second. I had... Oh, there it is. Alright, the rest of those are just crap. I don't know why it's knife night, but apparently it's knife night. We're just gonna make a mess down here. The thrower's legit. So this one is pretty fun because it's got a blade around the whole edge. And pretty much, you know, whatever you throw it at, it's gonna sink in pretty good. This is by United as well. They may, you know, I mean, I can't complain about the quality of their knives. They're pretty good, even if the fantasy stuff or the cow skull horn isn't that great. Right? I don't remember what movie it was, but something got me into the butterfly knife craze, right? It's just a shitty butterfly knife that I've had for 100 years. And there was some movie that I watched and I was like, you know, oh man, yeah, I gotta have a butterfly knife because they're so cool, right? Like it's a, I don't think this is made by anybody in particular. Rust free something? I don't know. It'll stab somebody. This one though, this one is a cool one. You have a flip knife from your sister's ex-boyfriend. It's a cheap $10 knife after 2 years of using it. It's very nice. Alright, so this is the modification of a paratrooper's knife, right? Now paratroopers have to have a knife within reach, like all over their body, just because if they fall into a group of trees, they got to be able to cut themselves out of the parachute, otherwise they'll hang there until they die, right? So it's got like this phone clip hook on the back, and this, you know, clips onto your belt. Now their knife, the knife that is like a World War II model knife that this is based off of, is a little bit different, but check this out, right? Like the blade comes up out in between the handles and pops up and locks into place, right? Like fold it closed, okay, no blade, can't cut yourself, pop it open, woo, you got a knife ready to go. This is a Smith & Wesson, the Smith & Wesson Power Glide to be exact, right? And it's probably like the second coolest knife I own. The first coolest is a dagger that my friends got me, also from United, very decorative piece. That was featured on the cover of Playboy with China, I think her name is. Now this piece of leather I got from my grandfather, who, when I was about my kid's age, 6 or 7, took me out, and we cut out the crotch of a willow branch, right? And he fashioned it into my first slingshot. So this is a very sentimental piece of leather to me. I've used it on multiple slingshots since then. All of them were never as good as the original one that he made, but you want to have a spring knife where you press a button and it's just jumping out? I've seen a few of those. You know, I mean, I have like a fixed blade knife that I use for all my knife stuff when I'm working around the yard and, you know, doing whatever. But yeah, very, you know, worn, sentimental piece of leather. Don't know where it came from, what he cut it off of, but I killed multiple squirrels with this. I tell you what, I'm gonna grab a drink. I'll be right back. Actually, give me 2 minutes. I'll be right back. Alright. Sorry about that. Your dad don't have his own knife. I've had one quality knife that I've never broken the tip off of for over 24 years now. What brand is that? It's like an old timer. Like an old timer work blade knife. And, you know, if I ever go camping or something, I'd take it with me. It's just a utility knife. But it has, been useful 1,001 times. So, if you're breaking the tip off your knives, generally you're not using the knife wrong necessarily. Could be the wrong knife for the wrong job. But the quality, I would question the quality of the knife, you know. I'd easily spend, you know, $300-400 on a good knife. I think the old timer utility knife that I have is probably a $40 knife. A friend of mine got it for me a long time ago. I think I've broken the tip off of one knife. I don't even remember how it happened. I just remember using a grinder to shape it back out, and I don't even know if I still have it. But yeah. Oh, that's sexy. That paratrooper knife? Yeah, dude, that thing's, like, it's cool. For not being a fixed blade, it's a pretty good design. It's a pretty well designed knife. And it's another one of those stupid knife purchases where I was like, I have no use for this. I'm not a paratrooper. I'm never gonna fall from the sky with a parachute and get stuck in some trees. But, you know, when I was younger and had money to burn, that didn't matter to me. I was like, oh yeah, I'll get this knife. So, I wonder, like, I've got the Playboy upstairs with China on it, and the dagger. I had the dagger long before China modeled it for Playboy. It's probably okay to show the cover of Playboy on a stream, I would think, right? Like, it's not nudity. And if you guys don't know who China is, she's a wrestler from, like, the WWE or something. Yeah, she was a wrestler back in the 90s. She did a Playboy spread, and my friends had given me this knife before, maybe it was my 18th birthday. I don't remember. And then a year or two later, they were like, hey man, you know your knife's on the cover of Playboy? Like, I have 3 Playboys, right? One is the one with China on the cover. The other one is of someone I don't remember who or why I picked it up. The third one has like it came out in the Ringlord forum. The cover, someone posted it in there. Oh, I didn't know she passed away, dude. The Playboy spread is part of what killed her wrestling career? Really? Only female wrestler of her generation to hold a men's title belt. That's interesting. I had no idea. I mean, it's not like I followed her. Or... I've never been a fan of wrestling, so I just knew that's where she comes from, or came from, because of because of the articles in Playboy that I read. Because, you know, you get Playboy for the articles, not for the naked women or anything. What's up, Wally? How you doing, buddy? I still gotta talk to you. Oh, man. Not having a phone sucks. Alright. Okay, so the third Playboy that I own is, it was a cover where the model has a chainmail outfit on her, right? And I bought it because it had shown up on the ringlord.com. Someone posted it there. I was like, oh, cool. Chainmail and Playboy. And I'm going to have to go take a look at it because I don't know, like, what weave it is or anything. It's like strands of something. I'll have to bring it. I'll have to bring my Playboy collection downstairs and we can discuss my Playboy collection on stream. How about that? That sounds weird. It's like I've never had a subscription to the magazine. I bought the 2 for the reasons I said, and I don't know why I have the third one. No idea why I have the third one. I don't even know who's on the cover. Now I'm trying to think about it. It's like, you know, of course all the Playboy are in my closet, right? Like where else do you keep the nudie magazines but in your closet, you know? It's just most people I know are no, not most people I know. Most people I know that subscribe to Playboy have like a stack of Playboys, right? And they've, you know, been a subscriber for 100 years or whatever. And I only have 3, so I don't know, it's weird. One thing you know in Poland here, you're never going to have free weapon system because of like your peace deals. All right. Nope. Poland does a lot of really good things that I wish other countries would emulate. I have no idea about their firearms laws. Moving on. From Playboy and knives and, you know, 3D printing firearms parts. All right, have a look-see. Look and see what I've done. No, it doesn't look like much. It's kind of... I feel like this is a bit oversized. I've like kind of missed the mark coming around this corner here. And then it's too big out this way, so I need to trim it down here and then round this out a little more. Right? Other than that, it's kind of the right shape and it's kind of in the right location. And then we're gonna have to tear a bunch of stuff out in the middle for these 2 lace pieces. Guns, knives, and naked ladies. Welcome to the Chainmail. Welcome to the MailleWerX Chainmail live stream, where we talk about guns, knives, and naked ladies. Oh yeah. This is not your grandpa's live stream. It opens the ring and puts it in, or else it gets the hose again. Sorry, I don't know where that came from. Oh, where are we at? Ooh. Hour 4, it's not too bad. I'm glad I made you laugh, Josh. That was just like, you know, it's not your grandpa's live stream. It's not safe for work. It's progressively worse. Now we're, you know, skinning people alive and wearing their skins. I don't know how my thought process went that way, but it did. David over in Poland. It's free real estate. Alright. I'm long on this edge a little bit. Maybe not. I don't know. This is just... let me show you what we're working on here. Right. We're working on this part of the chin strap right here. Right. And it's such an odd shaped piece. Like, how do you recreate that in Chainmail, you know? Or, you know, in any medium. I am in rare form. I've had a bit to drink tonight too, so that helps. You know, like we got off on a couple different topics, and like I wish I was in rare form every night, right? I don't want to drink every night to get in rare form, but you know, I'm feeling pretty good. We're finally, like, I had a good week. We're finally getting to a point where I get to implement my time management again, and I don't have to scramble to get work done. So that's a happy ending to a good week, I guess. I would really like my phone back. I don't get it back until Tuesday. Bunch of stuff happened this past week that I would have liked to keep better tabs on. So, you know, and I'm sitting here making chainmail. And you don't have to be a serious, what's the, my son and Renee call me a grumpopotamus when I'm cranky on at 6 o'clock in the morning. You know, I don't have to be that way because I'm making chainmail and life is good. In Poland, do you have a word sentence to say? You don't know how to spell this. What I wrote properly, but hope you understand. You're drinking to forget about your drinking. Oh, to forget your drinking, yeah. Mail is life. It really is. It really is. I haven't done anything else as long as I've done chainmail, right? Nobody hires to make chainmail though, you know? One day, we'll get there. We'll all just have a bunch of our own, you know, chainmail sweatshops running. And people will be paying our exorbitant prices for our demands. I am a sweatshop of one. The rings in this inlay are 18 gauge 1/4 inch. Don't ask me how many of them there are. I have no idea. I'll do a final count before. Once it's done, you know, length by width. All I know is that there are too many rings in this project, to be quite honest. This is far larger than I ever anticipated it being. You know, it's kind of... one of those things that happens where you have no pre-planning done whatsoever, and so doing things like using the inlay grid pattern or stitch fiddle, which I don't think existed. Inlay grid pattern existed, but stitch fiddle did not. When I first started this inlay 10 or 15 years ago, maybe even longer. I think this was like a 2006 inlay when I started it, and I had 3 friends from high school, and we were always hanging out during the summer. You're planning to inlay 16 feet across and 8 feet high? Holy shit. That's awesome. Do it. I love it. So, how this inlay how I began this inlay process was that I freehanded a University of Michigan flag. I freehanded a university or a Texas Longhorns flag, the Hook'em Horns. I freehanded a Green Bay Packers flag, and I thought to myself that I could go ahead and freehand a Raiders flag, right? And I have another project laying around here that I tried to freehand. And what happened with that project is that I was trying to match colors by ordering anodized aluminum over and over and over again, and of course they were all different batches, and all the colors are off, and none of the greens or the golds matched. So I stopped. I had posted the University of Michigan flag without realizing that the gold that I had used did not match up, and somebody pointed it out to me. And after that, after I saw what they were seeing, and I realized that I'd had the rings, these different colored rings in front of me this entire time, right? And I had never once noticed that they were different colors at all. It wasn't until someone pointed it out to me that that was the case that I started getting cold feet on this other inlay I'd been working on. And the one thing led to another, where I had to stop working on this other inlay, and I couldn't work on the Raiders flag anymore, right? Because I psyched myself out for 2006 to now. What is it, 17 years? 15 years. Right? Thinking I couldn't do it. And so I didn't have the self-discipline. I'm gonna go snuffle the show. That's been a big pronunciation this last week. Because there's so much goddamn snow around here. Yeah, I'm working in Euro 6 and 1. Oh, so I made a bunch of flags for my friends, and now I have friend number 3 from high school who I've got to finish this up for. Right? Like, yeah, see, it's not close enough here. And it's too far out over here. I'm gonna have to adjust this. right? We'll see. Where are we at? An hour 15? Alright. Okay, I tell you what. We are gonna have to do some more of that tomorrow. So, yeah, you know, knives, Playboy, old style or old school projects from many, many years ago that we're trying to finish, and why they're not finished. And what I had to do was get over the fact that the gold doesn't match up on the other inlay before I could start working on it again. Like, I'm not gonna find the same gold again. You know, it'll always be a different color gold. Gold. I use that term loosely. Once you see the colors in this other inlay, you'll know what I'm talking about. They ain't all quite gold. Oh man. But they also don't match up, which is the bigger problem. So we'll get to that inlay soon. I don't think that's going to be the next project. I think the next project is the highway bars on the bike. It's warming up. I'll be able to get out there and get the bars off, and then see if I have enough rings to wrap the highway bars. Which I think I do. So, we'll see. But in the meantime, thank you to everyone hanging out. I do appreciate you being here. You guys all rock. You make it all worth it. Go check out MailleWerX.com if you want to see more of the stream and more stuff on the stream. Get yourself something nice. And yeah, future there. I got the bags right here next to me to do to work with some of your rings. It's coming. I have been meaning to. Well, you know, I won't call you. Tell you what I'll do. I'll tell you right now. I've been slammed at work this past, like, the last 2 weeks, and I can't sit down and figure out what the project should be that I need to make with them. So, as soon as I have 5 minutes to sit down and figure that out, I will be able to make something with them. So don't worry. We will be using them soon. All of them. But in the meantime, do go check out MailleWerX.com for all your chainmail accessories and apparel. And oh, the handlebars? No, I got too much stuff on the handlebars. It's the highway bars. The bars on the side, you know, the sissy bars. You know, if you lay your bike down, it prevents the bike from being destroyed. I don't plan on laying the bike down, so. Alright. Thank you very much, everyone, for hanging out. I will hang out with you all, if not